guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miri Baka for those of you who are new to my channel, and I am almost 23 weeks pregnant. Baby boy is the size of a papaya, and here it is. How cute. And tomorrow I will be 23 weeks pregnant, so it's insane. It's my first pregnancy, and I'm about to answer some of your guys' questions. I asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions for me, and throughout my pregnancy I've had like lots of people ask me questions, so I'm like, let's do a Q&A. I did do a Q&A on my stories on Instagram when I first announced that I was pregnant, so if you guys would like to go see that, it's gonna be in my story highlights, so go ahead and do that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you are new here. I'm a first time mom to be, so this is all very new to me, and I'm super excited to answer your questions, and hopefully it's gonna help you guys, some of you guys, if you guys are first time mom to be's as well, because I know these type of videos have helped me a ton. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first question, and probably the most asked question, is was this pregnancy planned? And 100% no, it was not. We were not expecting it whatsoever. When I got pregnant, I was just with my boyfriend Omar, and we had been dating for a little bit over a year, and we obviously, this was not planned at all. I'm a Christian, and I strongly believed that, you know, this was something that I wanted to do after I got married, but you know, things happen, and here we are. At first, whenever I found out, well, actually I think I have a question on that, so let's just follow along. Okay, next question. How did you know that you were pregnant? I remember one day we were like, I had already been feeling nauseous like here and there, but it wasn't like anything big. I was like, oh, weird. And I remember one day Omar was like driving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is his driving like making me nauseous right now? And I like mentioned it to him, but like we didn't really think that much about it. And then like a few days later we went to pick up his kids, because he has 2 kids in Texas, so we went to Texas to pick up his kids, and on the way over there I got really nauseous, and I'm like, oh snap. And so I talked to him about it, and he already knew like, oh my gosh, like she can be pregnant, but we weren't really like talking about it. It was kind of like taboo, you know, like we just kind of like kept quiet, and we were like, okay. So we just let it happen. At that point I was already a few days late on my menstrual cycle, but I didn't know like how long, because I don't really ever track them. But I knew I was like at least like 4 or 5 days late, like around that time. And then whenever we came back, his kids were here for a few days, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'm pregnant, like what are we gonna do? Like how are we? Oh no, I think it was just one of his kids, actually. Yeah, it was an older one. The younger one wasn't here that time, but anyway, so I'm like, how am I gonna tell him? At that time, like it had only been a few times since I've interacted with his little boy, so it was still like really fresh, because I didn't meet his kids until like a whole year after us dating, for really good reasons, but you know. So anyway, it was so weird. I'm like, how am I supposed to tell Omar if I do get pregnant, like if Emiliano is like right here? So I just let the days go by, and finally I'm like, okay, I need to just take a test and tell him. Maybe I can tell him while Emiliano is like sleeping or something, and that was the plan. So I remember one time I came home from work, I took the test. I had already had these pregnancy tests for like 4 days, and I still didn't like couldn't bring myself to like take one because of the situation. Like I knew that I wanted kids like after marriage, and I'm like a strong believer in like, you know, waiting for marriage and things like that, but like it just wasn't our story, honestly. And so I was like super afraid of like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna think? And I'm just super afraid of judgment and just like doing things wrong with God. And so anyway, I just ended up taking a test, and then it came out positive. I was super excited yet shocked. I was like, I could not believe it. My immediate reaction was to just cry. Ugly cry is what I'm talking about. Like, it was just so surreal. So I ended up telling him that night. Emiliano was in the restroom, and we knew that he would be there for a little while because he had told us, you know, kids. And so I pulled out the pregnancy test and showed him, and he was like, Oh my gosh, no way. But by this time, like, he could already like sense it, like, oh, there was a possibility. So we were like super happy yet shocked. Like, I was shocked for like weeks on end, to be honest, because I just could not believe it. But ultimately, I was super happy. The next question is, how did your family react when you told them? I had really similar reactions with all my family members because, you know, it was a huge shock to them. They did not expect that from me at all. I recorded all the reactions on camera, and because I wanted like to compile them and make like a video with all of them, but they just were not, it was not it. They were supportive and obviously they came around, but when I told them, it was just a huge shock to them, and they were just like, oh my gosh, like, why? You know, like, you're not married, you're not engaged, like, you guys don't have things like set in stone. But at that point, even before I found out I was pregnant, like, Omar and I knew that we wanted to get married. So I think that's why for me, whenever I was telling them, I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna be excited for us, you know? And they were excited, but they just were like shocked more so. And so I ended up not posting that video because it just wasn't the reaction that I was expecting from them, but now I understand them. The next question is, what were your first trimester symptoms? So I'm like almost through my second trimester, which is so weird, and it's wild, like it has flown by, but let's see. My first trimester symptoms were definitely nausea, however you want to say it. I was also super hungry all the time, super tired, like I would take naps for like 2 or 3 hours, and I felt like dehydrated. I didn't feel like myself. Everything grossed me out because I can smell things from a mile away. My senses were super like intense, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't throw up, so thankfully that wasn't my case, but yeah, other than that, just like the normal things. And that only lasted up until like 14 or 15 weeks, and then after that I was pretty good, other than like my hunger. I feel like my hunger like kept on going, like, and I would just get like really hangry if I didn't eat something right then and there. Like, my stomach could not be completely empty or like close to empty because I would just be grumpy. The next question is, when is your due date? My due date is June 5th. Although I have a feeling that baby is gonna come soon. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like in my head, but I'm like, I have a feeling that this baby's gonna come sooner. I am almost 6 months, but like I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like my pregnancy is so advanced. Like, I've had symptoms that like other girls have told me that don't really start usually until their third trimester, so it's weird. But again, that can all just be in my head. So yes, June 5th. Will you get married before baby comes? Yes, that is the plan, Lord willing, and we are just so excited. It has been so hard right now to just like plan for baby because we're not married. We are engaged, but the house where we're gonna live in is also being remodeled right now, and it's a whole process, so we don't know when all that is gonna finish, and some things are just kept a secret because I just want some of these things to be personal, so you guys will find out in the near future what happens. But yes, we do plan to get married before baby comes and moving in and settling down. So that's something I've been really like anxious about. I know being anxious is not like healthy for pregnancy, and I've just tried to let go and just let God take control, and that's what I'm doing right now. Honestly, this pregnancy has been really stressful because of everything that is going on in our lives personally. Like, Omar and I are great, but like just everything that like life has thrown at us, and just like not being prepared for this pregnancy and for this baby, it has just been a lot. But we know that God is going to provide, and we are trusting in His timing. Next question is, are you going to leave teaching? And no, I do not plan on leaving teaching. I love my job, and honestly, even if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years, we just can't afford that right now. So in an ideal world, yes, I would leave teaching for a couple of years to take care of baby, but it's probably just not gonna happen for us right now, and I'm okay with that. And thankfully baby comes like early in the summer, so I'm hoping that baby's gonna come, and then I'll have, you know, 2 months to just stay with him, and it is a boy, so I'll have 2 months to stay with him throughout summer break, and then I'll start school again in August. So that's the plan. Okay, this one says, have you felt baby kick? And yes, you guys, it's the best thing in the world. He has definitely been kicking a lot more recently, and it's just amazing. For some reason, like, he loves kicking at night, like when pretty close to bedtime, like an hour before I go to sleep, like he just starts kicking and kicking, and sometimes he does it throughout the day, but just not as much. And I just cannot wait because I have a posterior placenta, so the baby is in front of the placenta, which means that I'll feel his kicks more, and I can't wait for that. I can't wait to finally like see them. Omar has like very like faintly like felt his kicks, but they're not like strong enough yet, so it's kind of sad because I'm like, oh, come on, like feel my belly, and he's like, I don't really feel it. Like sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. So yeah, it's honestly the best feeling in the world to feel your baby kick and just move in there, because you just know like, okay, my baby's healthy, my baby's like there. And it's actually crazy, but like he's actually moving right now as I speak. So I think he knows we're talking about him. Next question is, what have you been craving? And really like nothing in specific. Like I've been craving, I guess, everything. Like every time I see Omar eating something, like I want it immediately. But nothing really crazy, honestly. I haven't had like specific cravings. I will say though, I have been craving lots and lots of sweets. Like I've noticed I've just been like wanting a lot of candy, a lot of chocolate, ice cream, smoothies, things like that, like just cold stuff as well. Okay, I like this next question. It says, how many kids do you guys want together? And that's kind of hard for us, honestly, because he has 2 boys. He has a 5-year-old, he just turned 5, and then an 11-year-old. And then I have like, you know, we're having this baby. So like when the kids come to stay with us, like we're gonna be a family of 5. And so it's kind of already a big number. So it's a little intimidating to think about like another baby, but I definitely like want like 2 or 3 together. We will see, whatever the Lord says ultimately. Next is, what do you use on your belly to avoid stretch marks? And that's a good question. Let me actually go get it. Okay, so I use 2 things. Oh my gosh, this is so oily because I just put some on. Okay, so I use the bio oil, and this has been great. And you guys, I've used so much of it, but a little goes a long way, and I love it because I've been using it since I first got pregnant, or since I found out I was pregnant, and there's still like a whole bunch left, so I'm sure that I won't even finish it by the time baby comes. So I've been using that at night, and then in the mornings and on my back I use this one. This one is the Palmer's Cocoa Butter formula for stretch marks, and that has also been really moisturizing for my skin. So love those 2 things. Highly recommend you guys using both an oil and a lotion, because sometimes like I'll just put the oil at night and then the lotion in the morning, and then sometimes like you just don't want to have oily hands, you know, like right after you put it on. So like sometimes I'm just like, okay, lotion is good, let's go. Okay, the next question, have you struggled with body image? And oh my gosh, 100% yes. This is something that it's like vulnerable for me to like talk about it, because I've always struggled with self-image. I've always compared myself to my twin sister because she's always been thinner than me. I've compared myself to other girls, many girls. There's so much comparison as a girl to begin with, but body image has definitely always been a struggle for me. And whenever I started getting bigger in my pregnancy, I just noticed that my jeans stopped fitting like really early on. I was probably like 13 weeks when my jeans stopped fitting, and it was just like very kind of like defeating for me, and I just didn't have cute clothes or anything like that. Like I felt like I couldn't wear anything. And now that I'm in my 2nd trimester, again, I've been feeling that, because even though I have gotten some maternity clothes and I did start feeling better about myself, like I really only wear like 3 or 4 different pants like in a rotation, and they're mostly leggings. And so I'm just like tired of wearing leggings, and it's also been cold, so I haven't been able to wear dresses. So I know it's gonna get better because I'm gonna feel better about my body, But yes, my body has been going through a lot of change. I already feel huge, and I know I need to stop that. Like, I'm pregnant, I'm carrying my baby, like I need to just not focus on that. But it has just always been a struggle for me, so I knew that I would struggle with it in pregnancy. But I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna stop worrying about this because I want to enjoy my pregnancy and I want to enjoy my belly, and most of it's just in my head. The biggest like difficulties that I have is just like trying on more than like 7 shirts every day whenever I want to pick an outfit, because I just can't seem to feel comfortable and like good about myself. So I'm working on it. And I might as well just show you guys a little bump date so you guys can see my pregnant belly. Hopefully you guys can see, but here's the baby. So right now we're not super big because it's the morning, but in the afternoon and at night, you best believe that baby is popping out. I guess not even like popping out, but I definitely have like a lot of bloat throughout the day. So by nighttime, I'm just super bloated and I feel like I should be like 8 months pregnant or something. The next question is, do you have a sex preference for the baby, or did you have? So before we knew the gender of the baby, I really wanted a girl, to be honest, not gonna lie. I wanted a girl because Omar wanted a girl so bad. He already has 2 boys and he has just always wanted a baby girl, and he's like, if I have a baby girl, like I'm gonna be like obsessed with her. She's gonna be like daddy's girl for sure. And it was just so sweet, like whenever he expressed himself that way, and like I just wanted his desires to come true, and so that made me want a little girl. But obviously, like, we found out we were having a baby boy and we're still super happy. I'm like super pumped because I know he's gonna be a mama's boy, and so can't wait for that. Okay, these questions are gonna be rapid fire because I feel like I'm taking too long, but here we go. Have you started getting items for the baby yet? And the answer is not really, other than like things that companies have sent me or things that my friends have given me like here and there, but not really because again, like I live with 3 other girls right now. Omar and I don't live together, we're not married, so whenever that happens, hopefully I'll be able to start nesting and getting things for baby. I did get one little outfit. Let me show you guys. Look at how cute, you guys. I got this cute little outfit from Walmart, and it's 3 to 6 months. My sister Abby recently had a baby boy. He's 2 years old now, so she saved like a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna be able to use a lot of that stuff because she's pretty sure she's done having babies. So anyway, so I got that for him, and I have a bunch of my nephew's clothes, so that's like super sweet, and she dresses him in the cutest like way possible, so I'm excited to have all of that clothes for him. Would you ever wait to find out the gender when he or she is born? Really, I don't think so, because I'm like a control freak, and I just can't, I don't know if I'd be able to wait like until my baby's born to find out whether it's a boy or a girl. So really, I don't think so, but I guess like if I have multiple kids, maybe by like the 3rd one, I'd be like, okay, sure, let's just wait. How are your emotions during this pregnancy? Congratulations, by the way. My emotions have honestly been pretty stable. Like, obviously there's times when I get super emotional, but overall it's been pretty good, and I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm carrying a baby boy, because I feel like if it was a girl, I'd have more like hormones raging and more things going on. That's what I've like heard anyway from other moms, so I'm not sure, but I feel like pretty stable, to be honest, other than like being moody sometimes and being emotional like here and there, but that's natural. What was your biggest fear when you first found out that you were pregnant? It was just how the like judgment from others, like just knowing that I was gonna get judged for being pregnant out of wedlock, because it just was not like what I believed in, and I'm a Christian, and like my church was gonna find out and things like that. But God has been so gracious to me, and I have stopped feeling so much shame. It does come around here and there, but overall, like, I'm just thankful for my baby, and honestly it's a blessing from the Lord. Like, the Lord allowed me to get pregnant even if it wasn't at the right time. He allowed me to get pregnant and to carry this baby like within me, so I'm going to rejoice and I'm going to be happy about that. Was Omar happy? Absolutely, he was happy. Are you going to the gym? Yes, I've been going to the gym. I usually try to go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. If I don't go to the gym, I do at-home workouts, and I've been following this girl on YouTube, so I'll link her down below. What are you most nervous about? I'd say giving birth, because birth is scary and I've heard horrible things, so I'm just like super scared, but I'm trying to prepare myself for it. What was something that you used to like but now that you're pregnant you can't stand? Oh gosh, Chipotle. I was so sad, but I ate Chipotle early on in my pregnancy when I was having like all these food aversions and smell aversions, and I was nauseous and everything, so Chipotle is definitely a place where I'm like, skip. And it sucks because Omar really likes Chipotle and sometimes he wants it and I'm just like, can we just go get something else for myself? So yeah. Do you have a labor and delivery plan? No, I do not. I just know that it's going to be a hospital birth, and everything else I will figure it out as time gets closer. Next one is, are you planning on breastfeeding? The answer is yes. What have you been craving? I've already answered that. Have you guys picked out a name? Yes, we picked out his name. We're like 90% sure that that's his name. And the last question is, when are you guys going to announce his name? Probably pretty soon, honestly, within the next like month or so, because I can't wait to share it with you guys. And it's just so hard, like constantly calling him baby, 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 even though he already has a name. So we're gonna share it pretty soon. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. I will be doing a third trimester Q&A probably, so if you guys have questions along the way, either put them in the comments down below or DM me on Instagram, anything like that. Make sure you follow my socials. I'm always under Midi Baka, so I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye guys.